Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B ward, this is Post-Mortem. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD.
And when I say B ward, sometimes it feels like I'm saying B word.
Broadcasting from the bitch.
The bitch. I think B stands for beer, though.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's the beer
in this
ward.
case. Yeah, it is the beer ward.
So what are we doing today?
Well, first off, before we get into horror news,
Right.
I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's not horror news.
Okay.
So, many people that are listening to this do not know that you are a licensed minister.
Yes.
And you are officiating my wedding.
I am.
He's going to marry me and my fiance.
That's right.
And it's pretty awesome.
I'm a holy man.
In addition to that, we are doing this podcast now. Takes up a lot of both of our time.
Right.
And I think that after editing the interview that I edited, that will be released soon.
Yeah.
I really realize how much work you put into this after we leave the B ward. After you leave the B ward.
It isn't easy.
It isn't easy. So, for the combination of those two things, I got you a little token of appreciation here.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm going to give to you right now on the air.
What is this?
I saw it and I said, Dom needs to have this.
That is fucking awesome. For those of you who can't see it, it is a Cthulhu Dagon 2016 The Greater of Two Evils t-shirt.
Yes.
This is fucking badass. Thank you.
Don't vote for Trump. Vote for Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's right.
With his running mate Dagon.
Choose the greatest of all evils.
I knew you would love that. I saw it online and I'm like, Dom's been doing all that shit and I was thinking about the wedding and I'm like, I gotta get him a little something. A little something to know he's appreciated around here.
That's
around
awesome.
the B word. So
Thank you.
no problem. So now, after that's all done, we go to a little segment. Oh, wait, before that, I've had that for about 3 shows, and I keep forgetting to give it to you. Every single time we record, I see it. It's been sitting there folded up on this bookcase. And I've said, I'm going to give it to Dom at the next show. I'm going to give it to him at the next show.
Head
and
trauma.
I had to, in my notes, write, Dom shirt, horror news. Yes, I do get head in the head a lot. But now, something I can remember, it's time for horror news. Yes. My first little segment of horror news. Have you ever seen the online horror short Lights Out? Went viral a couple of years back, Lights Out.
Oh, with the lights going on and off.
And
the
she
little
gets closer and closer?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, it was
Did
pretty
you
good.
enjoy it? They're making a full-length feature based on Lights Out.
Wow.
By the same director of the short.
Nice.
He did that. He did the right way. To get funding, he made a 2-minute short. It went viral. Now he's got a major studio behind him.
It's funny because that's how Sam Raimi got funding for the first Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Was he made that short Within the Woods.
Yeah.
And then shopped it around for years until he got money for it. That's what's amazing about the internet, is that now that whole process can be totally sped up. That movie came out, a year and a half ago, maybe, that short film?
A couple of years. I think it was 2005 or something.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long time. When I was researching this,
okay,
when I found out about this, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
So
I only saw it maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's been out. It's got like 3 million YouTube views.
Wow.
But it's on multiple sources on YouTube. The one I clicked on, there was multiple.
Right.
So a lot of people have seen it. They have faith in it. They have so much faith that it was originally scheduled for a winter release, and they push it back to a summer release, competing directly against the new Star Trek movie.
Oh shit!
So they have some faith in this fucker.
Yeah,
and I do too. I watched the trailer. It looks like a combination of creepy and jump scares, kind of like the original short.
Okay.
Now it's being produced by James Wan from Saw,
Really?
Insidious, all that stuff.
He knows his business.
He's hit or miss. Yeah,
but he knows his business. He knows what's good.
I don't need Saw 17, but some new shit was good. I like Sinister.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like it. I love Sinister.
Was
I
decent.
think it's better than Insidious and all that shit.
Definitely better than Insidious.
Lawnmower kids being abducted by Michael Jackson in a pool. Didn't he look like Michael Jackson?
He did.
So it's being directed by the same guy who did the short. His name is David F. Sandberg.
Okay.
I hope this doesn't suck.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't the last we see of him. I really hope it's the start of a good career. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with a full big budget movie after doing so much on his own with that short.
And that was all practical effects.
Yeah.
It was all prosthesis and whatnot. So
and that's what we like around these parts.
Yeah, hopefully he sticks with that.
Yeah. He definitely nailed the anticipation scare.
Oh, yeah.
You know something's going to happen, you know it's going to happen, and the creep factor. It wasn't
did,
all jump scares.
Yeah, he did more to set a mood with that short film in 5 minutes than most people can do with 90-minute movies.
Yeah, it's true. And we need a new face.
Yeah, for sure.
We need a new director to come break the mold and step out, and I'm really hoping he can do it.
Yeah.
I know you only have one thing this week. You told me what it was.
Yep.
So, it's going to be a longer horror news segment. So
yeah, keep
I'm
going.
just going to keep firing off here. I got 2 more things. I saw another trailer. It is coming out, and it's going to be coming on Netflix. I just found out it's going to be on Netflix like April 8th or something like that. So pretty soon. Have you heard of Hush?
Yes.
Yeah. About a deaf girl being chased around by a killer who also doesn't talk. So it's the mute chasing the deaf.
Right.
It's a pretty good concept.
Yeah. See where that goes.
It will either be awesome or fall flat in its face and be terrible.
Yeah, one or the other, definitely.
Yes. Horror movie with no dialogue.
None at all.
As far as I know, maybe the cop will come and try to talk to her.
Gotcha. Well, silent films did it for years, so...
Maybe what would be really offensive but really funny is if when she got scared, she screamed like...
like a moose.
That kind of thing.
You know, what that reminds me of, not the moose scream, but the whole concept is, did you ever watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show?
Nah, I was not a fan.
There were a couple episodes that were solid gold, and one of them was actually called Hush, and it was about these demons that come to her town and they steal everyone's voices, and the entire episode had no dialogue, and it was just them using facial language and body language, and I don't think it had music either. It was just like the real subtle sound effects.
I just had Deep Purple. That's all it had.
Yeah,
music.
Exactly. And that was real good. So if they pull it off right, it could be very well done.
Well, it's starring Kate Siegel, who's in Oculus. Did you see Oculus?
Yeah, I like Oculus.
I thought it was pretty good, actually. A lot of people shit on it.
Another good one from WWE Films.
And it was written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who also written and directed Oculus.
Okay.
So he's using the girl from Oculus. He's going to another movie. I'm a big fan of directors who they pick their cast and their crew and they run with them. Kind of like how Rob Zombie does.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got his friends and they're so good that he puts them in his movies.
But you're going to get something consistent with that.
Yeah, you do. My next piece of horror news. 30 years after the film's release, Dario Argento, Lamberto Bava, and Sergio Steve Aletti. Yeah, Steve Aletti. Takashi Mike.
Sergio Steve.
Sergio Steve. Are talking about once again collaborating. Last time they did that, 1985, a little movie called Demons.
Yes.
They're making a 3D remake of it. That's what they're talking about doing.
All the original people.
The 3 people who made Demons are coming together to make a big budget 3D remake of Demons.
I'm down.
They said they're not going to do it unless they get the budget.
Okay.
They won't settle for a low budget. They have said, it was actually Steve. Mm-hmm. Steve himself who said that they won't settle for a low budget. It's got to be on par with today's effects.
Cool.
Demons got away with its effects because it was made in 1985.
Right, and we didn't know any better.
Now they're going to do it for real. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be good or it's going to be fucking terrible.
Right.
I just hope it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I hope they bring in Stan Winston for the creature effects in that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be something that's right up their alley.
Haven't
done a lot of creature features recently.
Tom Savini.
Yeah,
I'd like to have some Tom Savini in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So He's a great effects artist, and his school is awesome. You ever watch that show Face Off?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are on that show came directly from his school. Like, there's kids that are like 18, 20 years old on there making these fucking awesome things because they went to Savini school. So.
Right. Yeah, that guy's an artist.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for my horror news this week. So I'm going to pass it off to you so you can get your little plug in.
Yeah, my plug. The reason I didn't have any news this week is because I've been real busy. By the time this episode is released, April 1st will have come and gone because we pre-record. But on April 1st, I am releasing my new music album. And I've been working all week on getting that all that stuff together, getting the CDs together, the digital release together, all the stuff that goes into getting that out on time. You've heard, if you've been listening to the past episodes, you've heard our second commercial break has been for Mechanical Ghosts, Ars Moriendi Volume 1, Stepping Sideways and Descending, longest album title ever. That's me. That's my project. And I've been working on this album for the last 2 years, off and on. It's dark ambient music, a lot of noisy, smashy, clangy, boomy stuff. No vocals on this except for a sound sample of JD's Kids.
Yeah. And, you know, I hope you take this as a compliment. But I'm a huge fan of Doom. The Doom series of games.
Yes.
This, if you guys like Doom, you know the music that was on Doom? It's awesome. It's epic.
I can see the comparison. Yeah.
It reminds me of that, but today.
Yeah.
In the future. And I love it.
It's all very kind of slow instrumental stuff. And
some of it has been in the back room of this here.
Yeah.
This
believe our
background of this here program.
Yeah. Our second episode, actually, it was the entire album was played in the background, but I don't know if everyone could hear it. I don't think they could because we keep
so
it
if you
low.
want to listen to it in advance before April 1st or pirate it,
yeah,
just listen to the episode and turn it way up.
Yeah, listen real.
Try to ignore
carefully.
my voice.
Yeah, the album is all instrumental, and it's 9 songs, and they're actually broken up into 3 sections because the album itself tells a story through the music.
It's like the Who, Tommy, except for instrumental. And makes you want to kill people.
Yeah, it's pretty nightmarish.
It's a concept album that's instrumental.
Yeah, it's all
quite the undertaking.
Yeah, it's why it took 2 years for me to do it.
Yeah.
The imagery in the package, the album art and all that kind of tells bits and pieces of the story, but it was all initially inspired by some sleep issues I was having. I have very, very weird sleep patterns, and I have sleep apnea, and I have to wear one of those breathing things. And
like the guy in Blue Velvet.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Just like that.
And he acts the same way.
Exactly. Beat up people and shit. And there was a time where I had to get a new chamber for it, and because my old one had some mildew growing in it, and I wasn't using it for a little while, and I started getting these weird parasomnia issues. It's actually called exploding head syndrome, which is an awesome
that like
name
scanners or what?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. No, but what it is your body functions shut down in the wrong order. So your hearing is still turned on when your brain's falling asleep, and you literally hear your eardrum relaxing, and it sounds like a really loud pop. But when you're half asleep and half in the dream state, and your body is sort of, I need to protect myself, I'm really vulnerable right now, the way the brain interprets it is immediately that there's a threat in the room with you. So if you've ever seen that documentary The Nightmare.
Yeah, that's my favorite horror movie of last year.
Yeah, it's a
documentary.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's very well done, and they talk about the whole someone sitting on your chest thing.
Yeah,
that's what exploding head syndrome manifests for me. But it isn't someone sitting on my chest so much as I hear a crash, and then it feels like there's someone in the room with me.
Yeah,
and at one point I pushed through it and just forced myself to stay asleep. And I had this fucking weird-ass dream about this dude in an old-style plague doctor outfit.
Yeah, with the long beak nose?
The long beak nose and the hat, and he was walking through this marsh carrying a baby to this pyre, and he chucks the baby on the pyre, and the flames shoot up in the air, and all these ghosts shoot up out of the fire, and these skeletal hands and shit. And when I woke up, that just stuck with me. And I was like, I gotta tell this guy's story in musical form.
Yeah.
And so,
I've been having weird dreams and writing it down, and that's what's fueling my stories lately, my writings. I'm sure you do the same. Yeah,
oh yeah, for sure. This isn't my first album that I've ever released, actually. If you go to my website, mechanicalghost.com, You can get my first album that I released as Mechanical Ghosts in 2014 called Shadowbox. It's more of a industrial style album. It has vocals, it has lyrics.
It's really good too.
Thank you. And even before that, I'd released with bands and various other projects. I've been making music since I was, for about 20 years now, actually. So I started recording when I was 15, and I'm going to be 36 next week. So
yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of industrial by any means. You know that. I'm a punk rocker. I like punk. I sing in a punk band. Played in punk bands for years. I love your music.
No,
it's good.
Thank you.
And it transcends the styles in the fact that you can feel the expression coming out, and I know you, and I know how you think,
right? And
your music is you. It's like you in recorded form. So that's
what I go for. And I really like everything that I do. Always has sort of an industrial edge to it. But I've always kind of tried to make every album that I've done sound different. Like Shadowbox was more along the lines of pure dark synths, Skinny Puppy kind of stuff. This stuff is more along the lines of like it's like a soundtrack to a horror movie that never got made. So hopefully if someone makes a horror movie and you want a soundtrack and you want to pay me for it and you like the album, hit me up because I'm taking bookings for that.
Or a video game. Spoiler alert.
Or a video
Spoiler
game,
alert, video game.
Tyler Carpenter, if you're listening to this show, get me a job. And I'm actually in the studio right now working on a whole other project, which is a hip-hop project that's still rooted in industrial. That's going to be my next big thing. I'm writing a book that goes along with it.
And if you guys are listening to this just for horror movies and we're bullshitting and we're promoting Dom's album, well, you got a lot of that to look forward to because Great Command's album is going to come out soon. I'm going to do the same thing. So if you don't like it, fuck you.
Yep. Fuck you right
This is our show.
With a power drill and then pour orange juice in the wound and then fuck it again.
But we're going to make it all up to you because this week's topic, after the good and the bad movie, the top 5 nude scenes.
Speaking of fucking holes.
Yeah. And my list, not so sexy.
No, mine either.
I think we went the same direction.
Yeah.
You know, you could think top 5 nude scenes, you're like, oh, the hottest nude scenes, whatever.
Bouncing,
not in our
tits.
case.
Yeah,
we are on the dark end of the spectrum.
The
nude scenes we like are terrible.
The awkward boner end of the spectrum.
Awkward boner, that's our rating system.
There we go. Awkward boner.
Awkward boners.
Yep.
All right.
So before we go into the commercial break and then our good movie and bad movie and then our top 5, I'm actually going to play a track from this record.
Okay, so we're going to listen to Mechanical Ghosts. What's the name of the song?
The song is called Insidious Device.
Insidious Device. After that, we're going to go to break, listen to a quick word from our sponsors, and then come back with the good movie and the bad movie of the week.
It's time for the good movie. Yay! Hi, thanks for listening to the Postmortem Podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Postmortem Podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. It doesn't cost you any money. We get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
And we're back!
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
That voice kind of sounds like a Simpsons character.
I don't know.
It sounds like Professor Frink from The Simpsons.
It might be. I don't know. I got it off of YouTube, so edited it into the other thing. Yeah, audio production around these parts. You're not the only one doing audio production these days.
That's right.
So I got a bad movie and a good movie. You got a bad movie and a good movie?
I got a bad movie and a good movie.
How good is your good movie?
It's pretty good, but I did the good movie the last good movie last time, so
All right.
yeah.
All right.
You can have it this time.
So you go first with the bad movie then.
Yes. My bad movie. I have notes. They're on paper.
Wow.
Yeah, I got fucking prepared. My bad movie is called The Lazarus Effect.
I've seen it.
Yeah?
I actually kind of enjoyed it. I know it's a
Really?
bad movie, but it's got the guy from Creep
Yeah, and Creep is an awesome
and
movie.
The League.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen The League, but
I'm
I
a
know
big fan
I
of
know
him.
it's on
He did okay.
it. Yeah.
The girl who's the main...
That was my problem with the movie, is all of it was just okay.
Yeah.
It was directed by this guy named David Gelb. I have no idea what else he's done. But the acting was decent. The cast was likable. It started out really good, but then it just like fell apart. And I know it's PG-13 horror, so you got to pull some punches, and
Yeah.
you know I shouldn't expect gold going into it.
I wouldn't say the cast did okay. Evan Peters, the guy from American Horror Story, I thought he was terrible
Really?
in this movie. He stood out as being exceptionally bad, as a little stoner guy. I just cannot believe it.
Yeah, it was adequate. And that's the most I can say about it. But it was basically like Flatliners meets Reanimator meets Event Horizon.
Meets Jump Scare.
Yeah, meets Jump Scare with a little bit of a psychic twist, but like it didn't have any of the heart of any of those movies.
How dare you compare this movie to Reanimator?
Well, you know, it's bringing people back
Those are
from the dead
fighting
and
words.
everything goes wrong.
Them be fighting words around these parts. You don't dare desecrate the name of Reanimator, our Lord and Savior.
I'm sorry, holy Jeffrey Combs. Please forgive me.
Jeffrey Combs from Lompoc.
Yes. Wait,
Yeah.
he is? Really?
Born in Lompoc, or born in Oxnard, raised in Lompoc.
Wow.
Where I was born. Now he's tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
I'm not a fanboy. It's a coincidence.
Yeah.
It's just a strange coincidence.
It's like you're married to him, almost.
That's
legal in
and
California.
there's probably about 10 pictures or action figures of him.
Yeah, I
in
see
the B word.
various iterations of him.
Yeah,
all
look at the
over
new one.
place.
You see the new one?
Yeah.
It's
pretty cool.
Okay.
We totally derailed. It's okay though. It was about Jeffrey Combs, so
Yeah.
that's fine. The whole movie was all jump scares, but there was no build up of tension. Like, and that's where it really fell flat. Is it was just like toast. You know?
Sometimes this is our second time that our good movie or bad movie has been something we've both seen. Last week you had Irreversible, which I loved, you loved.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the good parts. I don't mean to step on your toes on your bad movie of the week, but I saw it too. I'm not a fan either.
Yeah.
How many awkward boners do you give it?
I'm gonna give it 3 awkward boners.
I'll go slightly higher. I'll say 3.4
Yeah.
awkward boners.
I probably would have given it more, except for the fact that everything in the movie felt rushed, but it was only 80 minutes long. So, like, they had time to do more, they had time to build things up, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, it's not great, but I've said this exact phrase before. You could do worse.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
for sure.
You could do worse than Lazarus Effect. You could watch a worse movie. I mean, if you're a completionist like myself and you want to watch all the horror movies that come out,
Yeah.
and you can't find the time, you might want to skip it because there are some better movies.
Oh, for sure. Just watch Flatliners, or just
Flatliners.
Just watch Reanimator. Just watch Event Horizon.
Flatliners, Event Horizon is, I would say, a 9-star movie.
Oh yeah, great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, I love Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Flatliners, I love as well.
Great movie.
Not a horror movie, much scarier than the Exorcism.
Yeah.
The little kid with the hockey stick.
Yeah, that kid was fucked up.
Okay, so my bad movie of the week. It is streaming now on Netflix. It's called Raise. Have you seen it?
I saw it on Netflix, but I haven't watched it.
2013 on Netflix. 4 out of 5 stars
4 out of 5 stars
on Netflix.
Okay.
On IMDb, 5.2 out of 10.
Okay.
Quite the dynamic there.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 Netflix, 5.2 out of 10 IMDb.
I wonder who fucked up Netflix system.
No, they're just paying their friends off to rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, directed by John C. Waller, starring Zoe Bell, Rachel Nichols, and the Dukes.
The dude.
The Doug himself.
Wow.
Doug Jones.
And he couldn't save the movie?
He was the best part of the movie.
Okay.
By far.
Well, he usually is. So.
The premise is alright. 50 women are abducted, taken to a building where they are forced to fist fight to the death for the entertainment of their unseen captors. The unseen captor? The Dude.
Nice.
Yeah. Opens up with a fight scene between 2 women. One bashes the other's face with her fist until she dies.
Okay.
It's brutal. It's got a little bit of brutality there, you know? She cries, shouts to the camera, "How many more do I have to kill?" Like, she's done this before.
Right. She's a gladiator.
You know? Yeah. Roll credits. So, the premise is, these women are taken to this place. They don't know how they got there. Kind of like Cube. It's kind of like they stole from Cube, but made it into like a prison system.
Okay.
And the dad of the deaf girl from Weeds that gets mad at Silas.
Yeah.
Taught him how to drive. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Have you ever watched that show, Weeds?
Yeah.
He's the main prison guard.
Okay.
So the premise is, if they don't fight, they show them a video of one of their family members, and they say, "We're going to kill him." They have these videos. People are watching their family. You're going to kill him if you don't fight. If you fight and you lose, we still kill your family. So you have to fight and you have to win, and it's like King of the Ring tournament. You know, 2 versus 2 goes on out of 50. So it gets pretty brutal.
There's some promise to that.
Yeah, there is. Character development, you have an army girl, a bitch, the crazy one, the black girl, and a bunch of helpless ones.
Okay.
Very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Doug Jones is amazing in his role. It's a speaking human role.
Wow.
For Doug Jones. He's the main bad guy.
Yeah.
He speaks. He's not just a
He's
character
not a
actor.
monster.
No, he's not a monster. He's not playing a ghost. He's not playing any of that shit.
Huh.
He made this movie watchable. So it is my bad movie of the week. I'm not going to say it's a terrible movie.
But it's not Doug's fault.
It's not Doug's fault. No. The problem lies in the fight scenes.
Okay.
It's a combination of kung fu style where they're throwing fucking roundhouse kicks and shit. These girls that are picked off the street. Makes no sense whatsoever. You got the army girl. You got the other one. It's like kind of ghetto. The bitch one. Maybe they could be good fighters or whatever. And then I would have preferred them going crazy girl fight, biting, clawing, hair
Ripping
pulling,
out
head
earrings and
smashing.
shit.
But brutal. And like the way people are, like, Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah.
When it shows the grand reveal. Spoiler alert, 1993.
Right.
Jacob's Ladder. Sorry to ruin this movie for you guys. Pause it if you haven't seen this and skip ahead 30 seconds. You know how they claw each other, like they act like animals.
Right.
I don't know people could do that,
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer to see.
That would have been more realistic.
Yeah. Instead of just the fighting and stuff. That's what killed it for me, is the fight scenes.
Gotcha.
The guy from Weeds, I don't know his name, unfortunately. I didn't research that far. But as the prison guard, it's pretty good. Main character, the Australian girl, terrible. Terrible. Zoe Bell, I didn't think she did a good job. The Dukes and his wife are the saving grace of this movie.
Like Doug Jones's wife is in the movie, or
his
character
wife.
Okay.
They're a family, and it's like there's a society of people who watch this shit.
Okay.
On closed circuit TV,
Rich
in
weirdos.
the barn. Yeah. Watching the shit happen. It's kind of like Hostel in that way. It's a combination of like Hostel and Gladiator, yeah. It's, I don't know, but I would have rated this movie far less if it wasn't for Doug Jones. The Dukes, we love you. We love ourselves some Doug Jones on this program. We do.
Big Doug Jones fans.
We are.
If you haven't figured that out yet.
Doug Jones loves us too.
Yeah, he does.
He said look at our website. He said it. He said, I love Dom and JD.
That's right.
Yeah. So I would have given it like a 3.5 as a movie. Mm-hmm. It's not good. I'm going to add 1.5 points for the Dukes.
Okay.
So I'll say 5.
Okay. 5 awkward boners?
5 awkward boners. Awkward boners, like when you're in school, you're sitting at your desk, you get called up to do a problem on the board. When your mom
you're carrying your book in front of your crotch.
Yeah. When your mom walks in your room and you're looking at the back of an album cover of the Distillers that someone left at your house because you would never listen to that crap.
Right.
Anyways.
Personal experiences, no? No, not at all. Not at all. You just pulled those
just
randomly out of the air.
Yeah. So let's get to the good movies.
All right.
What's your good movie?
My good movie is a movie that I know you've also seen.
Okay.
Because we've talked about it
So
before.
is my good movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My good movie is Housebound.
Yes, Housebound.
It is directed by Gerard Johnstone. It's a movie from New Zealand.
I love it.
It's an extremely surreal horror comedy about a girl who is put on house arrest because she made some bad life choices, and she has to go back to her family home that she is convinced is haunted. And the whole movie just goes fucking crazy from there.
If you haven't seen Housebound, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. It's
Seriously.
not on Netflix anymore.
If you're listening to this, you probably have seen Housebound, so just listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, it's really a throwback to Peter Jackson's early films.
It is, to me. It takes a while to get there, though. Peter Jackson, right
there, yeah.
You know, Housebound does take a minute to get to that point.
It feels like it's not going to be what it becomes.
That laundry basket, though, that laundry basket scene, I love it. I love this movie.
Yeah, great movie. Very unpredictable if you haven't seen it. And I love a movie that has a good ghost hunter character.
The guy, yeah.
Yeah, the guy they bring in, like, a good ghost hunter character, like the ghost hunters in Insidious. The annoying kind of bumbling guys.
Yeah, those are cool.
Great characters.
The old lady from Poltergeist.
Yeah, exactly.
And even, like, the good characters like Peter Vincent from Fright Night.
Yeah.
You know, not a ghost hunter, but somewhat, you know, that kind of
paranormal researcher or whatever. Actually, I was at IHOP in San Luis Obispo at one point last week, and I saw a midget woman that looked exactly like Zelda Rubinstein.
Wow.
From Poltergeist, yeah.
Isn't she dead, though?
Yeah, Zelda Rubinstein's been dead for a couple of years.
Were you scared?
Like, no, my first thought was, this pancake house is clean.
This pancake house is clear. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to give Housebound 8 out of 10.
I will concur. I will agree 8 out of 10. Yeah. Exactly the same. Very good movie.
Yeah, great little bit of insanity.
My good movie of the week, I have a little clip from.
Okay.
You have also seen this movie.
Okay.
In fact, we talked at length about this, and I voiced my concern to you that I have not been able to find this movie. Saw it years ago, big fan of it, and then you provided me with it. And you brought it over.
I know what movie you're talking about.
And you let me have it. And you said, here, watch it. I know, it's awesome. We're talking about 1998 Modern Vampires.
Great movie.
No one has seen this shit. I guarantee you. If you haven't seen this, most people haven't. 1998, it was it says made for TV on IMDb, but
no,
it's got a bunch of boobs and shit.
Unless it was made for like Cinemax
HBO,
or something.
Cinemax, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
It's directed by Richard Elfman.
Of Oingo Boingo fame.
That's Danny Elfman.
They're both.
They're both?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, you know what I was thinking is maybe it's his brother or something.
Yeah.
So it is his brother.
Richard Elfman was involved in because Oingo Boingo wasn't just a band. They were like an art project.
Yeah, Oingo Boingo is awesome.
Yeah, they were great. Did you ever see Forbidden Zone? Their movie that they made?
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Elfman was in charge of all of the visual aspects of Oingo Boingo when they first came out.
Yeah. So it stars Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers.
Love that guy.
Not so much for me.
Really?
Love Starship Troopers. Love this movie. Can't name any other thing he's ever been in.
You ever see Dracula 3000?
Oh, God, I hated Dracula.
With Coolio. I don't know. Every time
you know what movie's good with Coolio? The Covenant. You ever see that shit?
Yeah,
oh,
it's a good movie. I don't know. I think if Casper Van Dien's in a movie, it's going to add a little bit of merit to it. He's like the white, large-chinned Danny Trejo. Like, even if the movie's terrible, he's at least going to add a little bit of shine to it.
He's kind of like a pretty boy. I kind of don't like him for that. He seems like the guy in high school that I wouldn't like. So it stars him. Falls for the vampire whore. It's got the great Udo Kier.
That's right.
Where is Snowflake? And the man himself, Rod Steiger, as Van Helsing.
That's right.
The best part of the movie.
Yeah, him and the Crips.
Yes, exactly. Vampires have a secret society which controls the world, and it's up to Dr. Van Helsing to stop them. But he needs help. And who's he going to get for his help? A bunch of gangbanger Crips from LA that are great in this movie.
Yeah, those guys are hilarious.
To introduce it, these gangbangers, their names, Time Bomb, Trigger, Little Monster, and Soda Pop. And I got a little clip for you from this movie.
Okay.
This is my favorite scene of the movie. It's when Van Helsing meets the rest of the gang. He's already been with Time Bomb. They've already killed one vampire, which is Udo.
Right. Killed him in his bed.
Yeah, saw his head off, all this shit like that. Now he's meeting the rest of them. They get in with all their guns.
That's right.
Drinking, smoking weed.
Being gangsters.
Being gangsters. And this is what happens.
Please stop the music. Will you please stop it? You drive me crazy. This is serious business. We are dealing with vampires here.
Hey, man, we gotta have some sounds before we party, so why don't you just get with it?
Party? What are you talking about, party? You understand what I'm talking about? People who live off human blood. I'm talking about people who destroy things. I'm talking about bad people.
You're talking about us, right?
Great.
He's talking about us, right?
Rod Steiger was so fucking gloriously insane in that movie.
He was, yeah. And then at the very end shot, which we won't spoil for you, pretty awesome.
It's got a great ending.
Yeah, it's got a great ending. The whole movie is great. And then the vampires gangbanging the vampire. The vampire girl. She turns into full on demon, like how the girl. You know how Selma Hayek and From Dusk Till Dawn, she's all sexy, and then she turns into a crazy like demon vampire.
Nosferatu status.
Well, they tie this woman down with garlic cloves, like garlic strings, to the bed. And she becomes demon vampire. They were going to rape her.
Yep.
These Crips, right?
Yeah.
The vampire hunter Crips. But they tie her down. She becomes the demon. So they decide they're still going to do it.
Yeah,
and they'll come in like 10 seconds and take turns. And it's awesome. And Van Helsing, this is the best. Other than, I'm not a kraut. To the cop as they're driving away after he gets a ticket. I'm not a kraut. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
This is the other funny part for Van Helsing. They just finished gangbanging the vampire demon on the bed. Van Helsing turns and like breaks the fourth wall to the camera. He says, "God, forgive these Negroes. They do not know. They do not know what they do." I'm not a crowd, Negroes. What the hell? He's like an undercover Nazi Dr. Helsing, but he's awesome. He's great. If you're a fan of a good horror comedy like I am,
it's a great horror comedy.
I love Reanimator.
Yeah.
I love Evil Dead 2, Dead Alive. If you like movies like that, you got to give this fucker a chance. You can't stream it. It's hard to get a hold of. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to order it from our click-through on Amazon. There's some DVDs on there.
I had to search high and low to find it.
Very hard to get. So just click through postmortemshow.com. Check it out. IMDb gives us 4.4. Fuck them.
Fuck that. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. God, I got to give it 8.1 awkward boners.
Solid 8.1 awkward boners, yeah.
I love Housebound. This might be... Because I thought about it after the fact so many times. And 1998, I was 13. So, holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah. That's one of those movies where I saw it. I actually saw it on like Cinemax or something like that when it came out. Nobody else ever saw it, and I would bring it up at parties or whatever. And people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You gotta find Modern Vampire." They'll think I'm talking about Once Bitten, that Jim Carrey vampire movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's Modern Vampires. It's goddamn amazing.
Check it out, guys. That'll be a hidden gem of this podcast. You listen to this shit. I guarantee you haven't seen that. If you have, I give you a lot of props because that shit's rare.
Yeah,
you gotta see it though. You heard that clip. It's funny. It's like Leprechaun in the Hood if it was better.
If it was good.
I love Leprechaun in the Hood.
I love Leprechaun in the Hood,
pulls
too.
a fucking baseball bat out of his afro. That's money right there. So, all right. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors with the top 5 nude scenes. What you guys been waiting for?
Prepare to embark on a haunting journey to the outer reaches of consciousness. Mechanical Ghost presents Asmoriadi Volume 1. Stepping sideways and descending. An experiment in audio necromancy designed to stimulate your pineal gland and open your mind to a world beyond life and death. Go to www.mechanicalghost.com to purchase your copy. The Plague Doctor awaits.
Okay, we're back with our top 5 nude scenes that aren't sexy.
Yeah, not sexy at all.
You're looking for sexy, you're never going to get that with us. Unless you're in the immediate vicinity and we've had too much to drink.
That's right. Or you think really, really weird shit is sexy.
Yeah. So, I'm going to open up another beer right now because I need it to discuss these nude scenes.
That's right.
You want to go first?
Sure. My number 5, I'm going to start with Shauna Lawyer, who played the angry princess in 13 Ghosts.
Okay,
She
yeah.
was now,
Underrated.
highly underrated movie.
I mean, it is not a great movie, but it's got some good shit in it.
I went through a period where I watched that movie probably every weekend for maybe half a year. And
13 Ghosts is like hanging out with a hot girl who's annoying as fuck, but then you get to bang her.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Like it redeems itself. It's got the dude from Monk.
Yeah,
And
Tony
Wings
Shalhoub.
from Wings.
Yeah.
Wings.
Fucking-
Also underrated Wings.
Yeah. Tony Shalhoub is in it. F. Murray Abraham is in it. He's fucking great. Matthew Lillard as the psychic is great.
I'm a big Matthew Lillard fan.
Yeah, I wish he would do more. I even liked him as Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movie. Like,
Fuck that.
I like that guy, but
Yeah, she's hot and she's scary and she's good.
Now, there's debate as to whether or not... This is why it's my number 5. It almost went to honorable mention. Because there's debate as to whether or not she was actually naked in that movie or whether it's a prosthetic suit.
I think it's a prosthetic.
Yeah.
I really do. But it qualifies. 'Cause
It's
you know
still-
what? Most of mine, prosthetics.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of mine. Not all of them,
I
but
remember
most of mine, prosthetics.
watching that movie with my buddy Randall, and he'd never seen it before. We were sitting in my living room watching it, and her first scene where she comes out and she's all, got her fucked up eyes and her slashes all over herself and her big old tits hanging out, and Randall just kind of like nudges me and goes, "Poster girl for necrophilia."
Yeah.
And she has
So-
been that ever since.
Tying into your number 5, also my number 5. Trash from Return of the Living Dead.
Okay,
Also a poster girl for necrophilia.
big time.
I just want to have a bunch of old men tear my clothes off and eat me. And she was also in Night of the Demons.
Yeah,
Leanna Quigley.
yeah, yep.
Very good movie. Return of the Living Dead. Very underrated.
Very underrated. Yeah, it's an entertaining movie.
It
Just like
is,
from
and
beginning to end.
it's a good comedy and good horror, and it's got punk rock elements. I love it.
Yeah.
So, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Zoe Trilling, the acidic hand boobs from Night of the Demons 2,
Okay.
where she's doing the sexy dance and getting the guy all turned on and opens her shirt and her tits are out, and the guy goes to grab them and they turn into hands.
Yep.
And they fucking spill acid all over him and melt his hands.
Yep.
Glorious.
Very familiar.
And a really good effect for that time period.
Very good. My number 4, Hostel 2, the scythe scene, where she cuts that girl's throat underneath her and starts rubbing the blood all over herself.
Yep.
The girl from Welcome to the Dollhouse. You ever
Yeah.
see that movie?
Yeah.
I love Todd Solondz.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that Bathory scene was pretty...
I love it.
That was good, yeah. My number 3 goes to 2 people, but they're in the same scene. Bern Lorenz and Beatrice M., the corpse sex scene from Necromantic.
Oh, yeah.
That,
It's on my honorable mentions.
yeah, that scene, especially for the time that it came out and sort of being the first movie of its kind, that looked like you were watching some shit you weren't supposed to be
Yeah,
seeing.
same Necromantic and Necromantic 2. Both very fucked up.
Yeah.
And good, though.
Yeah, and it's funny because Necromantic 2
Not really
actually,
good, but...
Necromantic 2, I
movie,
will
but-
say, is actually a good movie. Because it's like a love story, but with a corpse. Where Necromantic 1 is just sort of just like the guy being fucked up.
But let's be honest, though. So the appeal of Necromantic to me is we grew up at a time where the internet was not what it is now.
I grew up at a time when there wasn't an internet.
Yeah, for sure. I remember being like 10 when the internet like came out,
Yeah.
you know? And this kind of shit was like a myth. And we got these movies, and it was so exciting. And I remember all my friends coming over to my house and us watching Faces of Death.
Yeah.
All that kind of shit.
Before there was, the internet or torrenting or anything like that.
And that's where
I had tape
Necromantics...
trades.
tape trades. I did that too. I actually got kicked off of eBay on my mom's account when I was like 15. I had a business on eBay making bootleg tapes of European exploitation films.
Nice.
When I was like 15 years old. So I'm a fucked up individual.
Right.
Because I found the shit at an early age.
Yeah.
So I was making Faces of Death copies and selling them on eBay as a kid and shit. Not okay, you know?
Probably still got somewhere in storage just like a tub full of dubbed VHS tapes of all kinds of fucked up movies and anime and old ECW and shit like that.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Yeah, I got...
so that was your number 3, right?
Number 3, yeah.
My number 3 was your number 4, The Boo Pants.
Okay.
Night of the Demons 2. I still have my VHS tape copy of this movie.
Nice.
I love it. Mouse, great character.
Yeah.
It's Night of the Demons is so underrated, the whole franchise.
Yeah.
The remake is terrible.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. When I heard there's a remake, I was actually excited because that was the first horror movie I ever saw, was the original Night of the Demons. And Night of the Demons 2, loved it. And I had a big heart on as a little kid for that character that shows her boobs. And right when she shows her boobs, finally, that you've been waiting to see her big old boobies the whole movie, they turn into hands, grab that fucker, and melt him down.
Yep.
Great nude scene.
Yeah, great way to twist a child's mind.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 was almost my number 1. I almost had to flip a coin at this, and I had to debate some merits of it. But my number 2 is the tree rape scene from Evil Dead.
The naked tree doesn't really show.
No, she gets her shirt ripped open
she's got
and
a
the boobs are out and all that.
That's true.
And I saw that movie. I think I was probably in 7th grade when I saw it. And my parents had gone away for the night, and my friend and I were chilling at my house, and he picked it up from a video store, and he's like, "You have to see this movie. It's supposed to be the most hardcore thing ever."
I love it.
And when that tree rape scene happened, the both of us just kind of sat there in utter silence with our jaws on the floor, like, how do they make movies like this?
I saw the movies in the order that they are my favorite.
Okay.
I saw 2, then Army of Darkness, then 1.
Okay.
And I love number 2.
Yeah, number 2 is
my
great.
favorite. Yeah, I have it tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, I love all of them. I even love the first one.
Me too. I love
all of
the
its
first
flaws
one.
and all of its silliness. Like, and then the fact that Sam Raimi took that one a little too seriously. It's still a great movie.
Yep. My number 2, Mama Vera. Oh, Lionel! The giant balloon boobies of Lionel's mom at the end of Dead Alive. When she's a giant fucking fucked up zombie with a bunch of tranquilizer pumped into her.
Pendulous and swinging around.
Yeah, and she falls with her big ass into the house and burns down at the end.
Yep.
How can you forget Mama Vera?
That was a great scene.
It is.
Yeah.
And this is what our top nude scenes are all about. It's not about sexy. It's about giant swinging balloon boobs that need to pop. Zombie boobs.
Trying to pull
a lot of dead and
man
demon
back
boobs.
into the womb.
Yeah. Get in. I've actually threatened my son with that before. I'm going to fucking throw you back in your mom's womb.
Wow. It's like where you videotape the birth of the child, so that when the child's bad, you make them watch it backwards. That's why I'm not a parent.
So what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Mindy Clark in Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yeah.
With the safety pins and the spikes. That was really my first, I don't know if I should be turned on by this boner.
That might be one of the sexiest ones we have.
Yeah? Yeah, because she was fucked up, but she was legit sexy.
Yeah.
And
she wasn't really dead at that time.
She was sort of in between.
Yeah.
And she was putting the pins in herself because the pain kept her alive.
Return of the Living Dead 3 is one of my favorite horror movies. It's so underrated.
Probably the best movie that Full Moon put out.
The way... I love the cinematography in it.
Yeah.
The way everything looks, with the underlighting and shit.
Yeah. And it held up. I went back and watched that movie a couple months ago, and it's still just as good as the first time you saw it.
Yeah. Well, the grand finale, my number 1, probably know what it is. Almost, if you don't want me to talk about it anymore, I understand. I'm not going to hold it against you, but Reanimator.
Yeah.
The severed head cunnilingus scene. At
Great
the end
scene.
of Reanimator. Yeah. Barbara Crampton, naked on the little operating table. Zombie's
Shoving
got
the
his
head.
severed head. His own severed head that he's holding is going down.
It's a pretty
And
fantastic
that's when
scene.
I knew that someday I would be involved in the horror business.
That was
And
your inspiration, your aha moment.
It was. I got Reanimator for 99 cents, unrated VHS tape, from a video store 1 block away from my house that was closing down.
And you had never seen it when you bought it? You just
I'd
bought
never
it?
seen it or heard of it. And I was 10 years old. And I saw Reanimator, and it changed my life. That's the reason we have this podcast here today.
Set you down a
That's
whole
the
new
reason
path.
why in wrestling my name is JD Horror. That's the reason for any of my horror related stuff. Is Reanimator, like, I loved horror movies.
Yep.
I saw that shit between Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West, between the severed head scene, between
Just the buckets of
Dean
gore
going
in that
crazy,
movie.
the buckets of gore, the bone saw through the fucking chest. Reanimator has influenced me so much that my entire right arm is
Yeah.
a Reanimator tattoo.
Brian
And-
Guzman's just a good director. He did Return to the Living Dead 3 also.
Yeah, and that's why I think that's why I love Return of the Living Dead 3
Yeah,
so much.
I mean, even movies that have no business being good, like Dagon shouldn't have been good. But
Dagon
it
was
was
amazing.
It was. Faust Love of the Damned.
Yeah,
Great. Shouldn't
We've
have been
talked
good.
about all
It
these
was,
movies,
yeah.
I think, on the podcast
Yeah.
in previous episodes. So if you're tired of hearing of these kind of movies, well, fuck you.
Yeah, because we like things that are good. And if
Yeah.
you don't, then...
And if you haven't heard of it or seen it, you've probably heard of Reanimator. You know, you've probably heard of From Beyond.
A couple of years ago, I went out...
You got to see these movies.
I went up north to visit some friends, and we decided that we were going to get drunk and have a movie night. And Reanimator was on Netflix at the time.
It still
And-
is on Netflix. You can stream Reanimator right now.
And I was in a
your
house
for
full
free.
of people, professional actors, mind you,
Yeah.
that had never seen Reanimator.
Fuck.
And so I was like, put that shit on. You want to see... They were getting, modern horror movies, Don't Breathe, things like that. They wanted to watch scary movies. I was like, no, you want to watch a scary movie? Let's watch fucking Reanimator.
Yeah.
And
The cat.
Yeah. The cat.
It's my favorite movie of all time. It probably always will be.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a world in which that's not my favorite movie. So
If you're not tired of it by now, you probably never will be.
I am not tired of it. You know that. There's plenty of evidence around here.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, my number one, Reanimator, Cunnilingus Severed Head.
Nice.
What do you got for honorable mentions?
I have 5 honorable mentions. The first one, it would have actually been on my list, but it's not real nudity, and it's Fabio's penis monster from Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
Where Juliet's having the fantasy about the Fabio dude, and he undoes his pants, and this like horrible fang-toothed dick monster comes out. And terrifies her. It's a great little prosthesis too. Also on my honorable mention is Linnea Quigley's lipstick nipple from Night of the Demons.
Also on my honorable mentions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually put that on my honorable mentions because I thought that you might have that on your main list.
I took it off because I talked about it on a previous podcast.
Okay.
The only thing, I mean, I know I talk about Reanimator a lot, but I figured I already had Leanna Quigley as trash on this list, so I didn't want to have her twice.
Right.
And that's the only reason she got bumped out.
Okay, that makes sense. This one made my list because it's from a fucked up movie, but not necessarily a horror movie. Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant, where he's all fucking high on crack and dancing and crying naked. Real disturbing scene.
Very disturbing, and then also the fact where he just beats off to those girls he pulls over. He pulls over.
Great fucked up movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And what is it? Portugal, yeah.
Yeah, it was worthy. And then these last two are honorable mentions, not on my main list because they're animated, so it's not real nudity. But the movie Biohunter, there's a scene right in the beginning of the movie where a guy's fucking a chick and he goes to grab her tits and they sprout fangs and mouths and they bite his hands off.
Cool.
And the movie Wicked City, which there's a live action version of it, but the scene's nowhere near as good as it is in the movie or in the anime, where the guy's fucking a girl and they finish and she says, "That's good, I don't need you anymore," and then her lower half of her body turns into a spider monster with a vagina, with fangs in her vagina. and she bites him and then skitters up the ceiling.
All right. My honorable mentions. We talked about this before. One of my minor characters, the Toddster in Terra Firma.
That's right.
He's naked and gets killed with a bong.
That's right.
Toddster! All right. Then another one from Terra Firma. There's this scene in Terra Firma where this naked fat guy gets bandaged up all around his head. Something happened to him. And this other girl comes in and starts blowing him. And then he hears a big pop from a fake gun. And he starts running around. And he has the smallest little penis that you've ever seen in a video. And he's running around naked all throughout the city with his tiny little dick hanging out. Ultimately, he falls down. A car hits a ramp and barrel rolls in the air. And the tire lands on his head and crushes his head. And he kind of like quivers and dies. And all these people, bystanders, are like, oh my god, oh no. And then this one little douchebag guy is there and he's all, and points at his dick. Even though he's dead, his head just got crushed by a car. He's got his tiny little dick, and the guy's like, pointing at it.
Leave it to trauma.
It's so awesome. The lipstick boobs. Yeah. I didn't even see it. In Idle Hands, there's this hot ass girl with kiss makeup with the nice boobs, and the hand comes up and starts grabbing her and stuff. That's honorable mention.
I forgot about Idle Hands. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah. The Corpse Fuckers, Necromantic 1 and 2. Sleepaway Camp, Angela. The grand reveal. Yeah. She's not really a girl. There's a tiny little penis there in the midst of a lot of pubic hair and gore, and she's going...
That scene fucked me up when I was a kid.
Me too. Yeah, very terrifying. Creep Show 2, The Raft.
Yeah?
You know, when they're on the raft and there's that oil shit in the lake.
Yeah.
And eats away her face, and he takes it. He's like almost like sleep raping her, and he turns her around, and her face is all eaten away, and she starts screaming. Halloween, 1978, original version. Michael Myers killing his sister.
Right.
Titties are out. The Shining, the old lady in the bathtub.
That's another scene that fucked me up when I was a kid.
American Psycho, running around naked, killing bitches with a chainsaw.
Just the shoes.
Yeah, just the shoes. You make sure you put on your jogging shoes before you go out killing.
Then he does that thing with the stair where she's going down the stairs and he drops the chainsaw on her.
Yeah.
That was going to be in my one of my power tools things, but then we had the no chainsaws rule.
Yeah. And my last one, the whole movie of Life Force.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot
naked alien.
Yeah, the whole time.
It's an alien.
Yep.
Still in nudity. So those are my top 5.
No,
my honorable mentions.
I saw this movie not too long ago with Christina Ricci and Liam Neeson in it, and he was a mortician, and she was dead or a ghost.
Afterlife,
and she was naked the whole time.
It's called Afterlife.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. She's also naked in Black Snake Moon.
Yeah.
And what's that other movie called? Prozac Nation.
I never saw that one.
It's the first movie shot her. Got some nice hits on it.
Yeah. So that was one of my childhood crushes right there. Her as Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good that she finally gave us that.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so. I will always appreciate it.
So that's our top 5 nude scenes. Not too much sexiness in there.
Not a lot, no. Return of the Living Dead 3 was probably the closest.
Yeah, and what was your first one?
The Angry Princess from 13
those
Ghosts.
are probably the 2 closest, but Return of the Living Dead 3 being the front runner, besides the Idle Hands chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you don't want to hear about top 5 nude scenes? Decapitations? Torture scenes? Send in your nomination.
Yeah.
What you got, people? Give us your top 5. Give us a category. Give us your top 5 list. And then we'll do it here on the Postmortem Show.
Send it to postmortemshow@gmail.com or send it to our Facebook chat thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Send us a message on Facebook. Even say hi. Even say, hey, I like this episode. Yeah. I like what you guys are doing.
But don't just send us a message that just says hi. Don't do that. I won't respond to that. JD might. I won't respond.
I'll just send you a dick pic. If you only say hi, I'm gonna send you a dick pic. But before I do it, I'm gonna draw a happy face on it or some kind of
put some googly eyes on it.
Googly eyes, maybe like a tutu or some kind of clothes, some kind of doll clothes,
a little
tuxedo, something like that. So don't say hi. Don't do that. But yeah, we appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. Our viewership is growing. You know, We are expanding. Things are going good around here.
Daily actually.
Daily, yeah. We're getting several likes, several listens every day from people who've never checked out the podcast before, and we appreciate that.
People who don't even know us, haven't been to any of our shows or anything.
People who don't know us personally, and we really like that. You guys like the Facebook page. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Let's keep this shit going.
If you go to Amazon to buy shit, go through our portal.
Yes, and spread our shit like AIDS.
That's right. And go to my website, www.mechanicalghost.com, and buy my album for just $5.
Yes. And,
as H.P. Lovecraft once said,
if it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back.
Throw it